Not like your multi last night.
Yeah, that was nice, mate.
It's worse than that.
And we don't endorse gambling, but we also do on this show. But me, Blakey, and one of my mates, Tommy Smith, we put $20 in each and hit a try scorer. First thing I said, I got it straight on Uber Eats, and I was like, "Kintie it is, baby." What about Seabum?
Seabum, sorry, I just yelled in.
Seabum, yeah, he's fucking awesome. We got a Seabum fan over here. Imagine how many people would be hitting him up for a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. Has he been on many?
I don't think he has, hey.
Yeah, he's done. I listened to him. Probably my favourite was him on Chris Williams.
Yeah.
Chris Williams.
That's the short guy with the short hair, the handsome fella.
He goes Hellas Sports. Yeah.
Is he overseas? Where is he?
Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the States.
He's the States.
But
I've just watched one of his videos this morning.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's
good,
English.
He's very good.
I'm sure he lives in the
That's
States.
podcast goals right there. He's he's
a weapon.
His questions.
I listened to him on Rogan to start off, and it was just his story about just being a bouncer.
How good is
but
he?
Then he was on like Love Island or something.
Yes.
And then,
it was a Love.
Was he on reality TV?
Yeah. He was like, he wasn't. I remember listening to him going like, this guy is like a young Jordan Peterson, like a little bit like
100%.
wise.
Yeah.
I love Jordan Peterson.
But then he's just
Imagine
like,
Jordan Peterson on Love Island. Just imagine just sit down. Would you like to go for a chat? Just like
quietly.
in the corner. You want to go for a chat?
His daughter, that's Michaela.
Yeah.
She's great too.
She's a weapon.
Yeah. They speak really well.
She's like big into her diet stuff. Is that her background? Like
She was all about that. I don't know if it was carnivore. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
she was talking about all that stuff.
Yeah, Lion's diet. So literally meat and salt. Like nothing else. Like not even nothing. Just meat and salt.
Mate, they just speak so well. JP is like my savior.
I love him. He's so good value.
I've told you that Blake so many times.
It's so
good. JP. Okay, we're running. Welcome back, everyone. Bailey Talks, episode 27. We have the lovely LJ Lily on the podcast today. Lily, welcome to Bailey Talks.
Thank you very much. Very happy to be here.
Thank you for being here today. Absolutely. Of course, we got Blake as well, the old faithful, the local man. Blakey, how you been, mate?
It's been good.
Got the Crocs on today. What are you not normally wearing Crocs?
Oh, been in the garden, mate.
Do we need to do a little fit check before we start this podcast, mate? You've been in the garden. Yeah,
I've been in the garden. No, not really. I actually been signing some papers.
Have you?
Yes. Getting the
drum roll.
The marriage, getting it on the way.
Oh, that's a bit exciting. Congrats.
I wanted to announce that more, obviously, with Kai, and shout out to Kai, because Kai's obviously just had a baby, so Kai can't be here. But mate, congratulations.
Thank you.
Big news, obviously. Got down on the knee.
Yeah.
Run me through quickly that arvo, mate. Was it?
Mate, it's pretty stressful because I was trying to. Once I got the ring, I was playing and I'm like, I'll do it in a month or so. And once I got it, I'm like, I need to do it now.
Get rid of it, mate.
So I'm driving home. I rang my cousin. I'm like, wait, I got the ring. I'm doing it.
Yep.
I'm doing it tomorrow. And he's like, what? How are you going to do it? I'm like, don't know.
I'm just going to get it done.
Straight on the e-bike, down for a swim, like hot arvo, down for a swim.
That was nice, mate.
And then once I was down there and the ring was on the beach. Pretty lucky no one took anything there.
And you got to be careful on the beach, mate.
Mate, it was pretty, looking back, I'm like, I didn't actually plan too much,
Jacob,
pretty rough.
Sorry, that's logos pop down. I don't know if that's... Is that me? No. Blake, mate, that was beautiful, mate. Beautiful proposal down at Red. Something nice for you too. LJ, any rings for you yet? No, nothing. No rings yet.
That's a pretty interesting question for me. Love you if you laughed at that part of it.
How was your weekend? What was your weekend like?
My weekend, I had a hens.
Did ya?
Yes, that was a pretty large weekend. There was no wholesomeness around that.
No. Thanks for coming today. It's Monday, everyone.
And I felt great today. I recovered yesterday when I had pizza for lunch and dinner.
Are you someone who because everyone handles hangovers differently, right? Yeah. What are you like as someone who's hungover? Are you pretty sweet, bounce back quick?
I wake up fine.
Yep.
And if I'm traveling in the car, then it hits in about an hour or two. After that, I think I'm pretty good. I have to eat though. I'm always carbs straight after. So pizza or pasta.
I'm thinking, if anyone's wondering what that sound is, it's like not a tornado. It's just
I actually thought in my ears.
It's the boat builders downstairs. It's just where we're renting our little studio here. But I wouldn't have it any other way. It makes me feel quite homey here with the boat builders. Weekend for me, guys. Listen, pretty cruisy one. Watched a bit of sport, bit of footy. Watched Tim Zhu yesterday. I don't know if you guys follow the boxing. Saw he got a win.
Yes.
Great for him. And that was in Newcastle as well.
Yeah.
The reason why I knew that is because farmers markets on a Sunday normally is on. Last week, someone says, "Mate, be careful if you come next week. We're not going to be open." I said, "Why is that?" Timmy Zoo's fighting. Watch the fight. So back to the farmers markets next Sunday, I'd say for me. But typical Sunday, weather, daylight savings.
Yeah,
we've gained a bit of extra time in the morning.
Love it.
Which is good. Which means obviously it's going to get darker towards the night now. So
very early.
We're going to be in bed quite early. Now, LJ, obviously, thank you very much for coming on to Bailey Talks, episode 27. A really busy last probably 6 to 12 months for you.
Yes, very.
I think we can start with talking about your recent drop.
Yes.
Obviously, that was a complete success. Super interested, and I'm sure there are a lot of listeners out there who follow you, maybe me, don't know, who would love to know a little bit more about the process behind that. What goes into working with a brand like that, the creative side of things, all the marketing, and then finally getting to a release date. Can you give me a bit of an outline first, how you got into affiliation with, is it Keep That Body?
Yeah, Keep That Pump.
Keep That Pump.
Yeah.
And what they've been like to work with.
Yeah, so would have been when I just started training at Pinpoint.
Yep.
Started doing a bit more social stuff. I think I started probably getting a few followers towards the end of, 2023.
Yep.
Started getting into the fitness. Anyways, bought a set, posted it, and the video got like 1.6 million views.
Right.
And I was like, ooh,
Damn.
Okay.
let's see what this does.
Me or the set?
I know. I'm like, both. I'll take it. Anyways, they ended up reaching out. They were like, hey, we'll send you a couple of free sets. So, like, obviously, when you're starting in that kind of industry, it's a lot of gifted. You're just getting sent stuff and you're super keen. You're like, use my code. I've got no idea what I'm doing. I feel pretty cool, but I'm wearing sets for free.
Yeah, yeah.
Young, like 21, 22. I'm like, this is mad. I'm like, awesome. Anyways, keep working for them. And then with this code, obviously they can see the orders that are coming through, and obviously the collaboration just started growing, and then they started talking about a commission base. So they were just sending me stuff, and pretty much the code uses is what I get out of benefit for that. And then it was about a year and a half, 2 years later, which is literally 15 months ago for me. And they just reached out and said, do you want to do a collaboration? So super exciting. I don't think I realised how much work was going to go into it.
And we were talking about that before, and you were saying the project itself, how many months
15
you guys
months.
have been working on it for, which is crazy. What was it like at the start, initial planning phase? What was the conversation like there, and how involved were you with the startup?
So initial planning phase, it was kind of, obviously with their sampling process, pretty quick to get samples coming. So they kind of already had an outline of what they wanted to bring out, and then it was more open to the ideas of what I would like to change and what I like about what they've provided and what would make it more something that I would wear classically and how I like the fit of it. So then they started sampling stuff literally 15 months ago. I didn't even know what the date would be on that. I remember looking at a video the other day and I was like, oh my God, that was so long ago. And then it was just back and forth. We kind of talked about the vision that I was after, the colours, because obviously I got to choose a few things around the shoot, what colours I'd like to drop first and stuff like that. And then obviously there were periods of like a bit more quiet. They were more on the back end talking about stuff, and then I would kind of contribute when those samples would arrive. So
sure. I guess that's like the best thing. It's like, in some sense, it's really good because you don't have to do a heap of the hard work. Like a lot of it's done for you. You get to like go, let's change that. Let's do this color. I like this. I don't. Yeah. Whereas, and I'm sure this might be something in the future for you, but when it comes to maybe starting a brand or whatever, I guess there's so many other moving pieces, whereas when you're working with another already developed brand, you really just get to move the chess pieces. So
exactly right. I think that's even before I started with Keep That Pump, my sister and I and my mum, we tried to do our own little activewear brand stint for a little bit. Yeah. And it's such a big process. They don't realise how much goes into that you don't see. Like even with Keep That Pump, I was stressed, But the amount of stress I can imagine they had going through me not liking something or having to get a different sample and me like, oh yeah, just change the waistband.
Change the size of
And
it.
I'm like, is that going to be done anytime soon? And they're like, sorry?
We're doing it. Like, just wait your turn.
Yeah.
Right?
So like those kind of things I have a great appreciation for because I feel like it probably taught me to be a bit more patient while also kind of giving me an understanding that I don't get to just click my fingers and expect stuff to happen.
True.
So it was a very great way to see that side of business on that front.
Yeah. Probably it teaches you as well to be grateful, you know, when you've got people working for you and with you as a team. And
Unreal.
yeah. What initially, like, what did you love about activewear? What was some of your initial ideas? Like, what to you was like an amazing set? Like, because obviously now girls in particular, like Samara, she knows what she likes. Like, she's like, oh my God, that brand does the best this because of how it's fitting. And I'm like, it doesn't look any different to like Big W's one. Like, I feel like Lorna Jane, and that's pretty similar. Like, but she's so certain, and I'm curious to hear what you think, that the little details in these pieces, like the size, the shape, the whatever.
Yeah.
What in your mind was like initially was like a perfect set? Like, well, what did you love?
I think obviously I tried a few around and stuff. One thing I really liked about Keep That Pump, mind you, I was buying it prior to actually working with them.
True.
Their shorts and how the band fits, like let's be real, a lot of shorts are the same. They're all everyone's wearing the booty lifting shorts. No one's wearing non-seam short anymore. True. Sometimes. But with Keep That Pump, I liked probably mostly the fit of it. I mean, they're very tight around the waist, but some people don't like that. So when we were talking about more in respect to my collection with them, I liked how they were very, I don't want to say like sexy, but like that whole range that they brought up to Keep That Pump was very like colourful, booty shorts, minimal crops, like not really big crops that more ideally a runner would wear or say more supportive. I liked how the style of everything was a bit more new and everything was a bit more backless or halter. So that kind of for me was a perfect set for me because that's what I was after.
Yeah, cool.
But I guess that varies for heaps of people. Like you've got people wearing Nike and stuff and classics.
True. So I guess ideally for you, like the sets that you've produced with this brand, like who is that target? Like who is the perfect lady out there who should buy that set, do you think?
Your typical, like for me, the back of the tights and the shorts are V-lines. Really for the glutes. Like any girl really wants the booty like to pop in their tights. That was our market. So I knew even with the style straight away, some people weren't going to like it.
Yeah. I actually like the back, how it's got the bit of the V going.
See?
So that was, has anyone else done that?
Oh, I think some, even Keep That Pump had done a similar design with a full scrunch, not the actual invisible seam. But as for the one that we've bought, I think that's one of a kind.
Yeah, well done. Now, tell the audience a little bit about, we were chatting before, the marketing that goes into this, because obviously there's multiple shoots, multiple photo shoots, videos, content, the timeline leading up until the announcement date, which was a massive success. What for you did you enjoy in that process, and can you give everyone a bit of an insight as to literally the marketing side and the creation side of like a drop like this?
Yeah, beautiful. Well, started with more of the marketing and like the creative concepts and stuff got a bit more closer towards the proper launch date. So I would have said most of our marketing and ideas and shoot ideas and what we were looking for kind of came into full picture November, October last year, like that kind of period of time, because it was getting closer to shoot times and we were trying to like establish a date. The best part for me would have been that 3 weeks before launch where we went to Queensland to do the event. That was when we had all the girls that kind of already do the ambassadorships for Keep That Pump, did a Pilates event, and no one could post anything for 3 weeks. It was very hard to manage.
Wow.
It's supposed to look
Put the
like
phones
it's happening.
away. Do not post.
And I was buzzing to post. I was like, how can you do one? They're like, you can't. And I'm like,
that's just like the perfect time you want to be there. Like, hey girls, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Like,
so we were doing all that content as if it was going to be happening the day that they posted it, which was the day after that we actually did the initial like coming soon with the photo of me and the pictures on the floor. But when you're saying like the best part for me would have been when we went to Queensland and did that, then Lee, Alicia and I, which are the two guys that run Keep That Pump, well, girl and guy, sorry. We went to Perth and we did the shoot. That's when like the whole kind of everything that I told them I would have loved to have seen really came to light, and you got to see all the girls in the sets, and it wasn't just you wearing it and sampling and sending photos and finalising everything. Everyone was actually there wearing it and they were doing the whole
That would have been a cool
concept.
moment for you.
Oh,
Like,
it's emotional because it's like you see something happen, and not that like I had times where I was like, oh, I'm getting so bored of this weight, which is so
True.
ungrateful, but it's
True.
little things like that where you're like,
I know what you
come
mean,
on.
but it's dragged out.
Yeah.
Clearly you're someone who likes, you know, you like to do things on the go.
When I
like,
get a
you don't-
photo at like the hens on the weekend,
Yeah,
edit
post
post.
it.
It's like
I'm not-
15 minutes after.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't.
not going up later.
Everyone's like, how do you schedule? Do you like make it suit? I'm like, I post whatever I want,
Mate,
whatever I
it's
want.
just banned.
If I like it, it's up.
It's going up.
Like,
I'm not stuffing around.
yeah, so I think when everyone was in it, and then, you know, even like the smallest details, like I wanted a concrete wall, and we got a whole studio with concrete, and we had like a couple of boxes and props, and I was like, oh my gosh, we did that. And we found a place where we went to Perth. We could have done it more local, but I got to meet a bunch of new girls I hadn't met from Keep That Pump, and they were the most grateful girl. Like they just loved being there, and it made the whole process of like showing someone the sets that hadn't seen them before and first impressions. It's like-
And they clearly were loving it, because that video I watched where you're walking around with the mic going like, what do you like about the set, whatever.
Yeah.
And they were all just so like, oh my God, I feel sexy. Like, it's so good. I was like, fuck, they're really pumping up your tires.
I
here.
know, and
Like,
I was like, I feel like I don't want it to seem scripted, and they're all like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna turn around and tell you. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is kind of good. Like,
walk up before and be like, all right, I'm about to ask you how this is. Like, just make sure you say this is good.
yeah, I'm
like,
prepping you all.
Yeah.
Coming in hot.
Imagine if you're like, and they're like, oh yeah, like it's not too bad. It's like, okay, that's not getting put in the
Literally read you
video.
that.
So yeah, really.
Yeah.
What about like dream collabs for you? Like, is this something like, what's your direction here with your active wear?
Oh, it's a hard
What do you
question.
want? What do you? Well, where can you go from here?
Well, from here, like, look, I'm loving what I've got with Keep That Pump. It's a partnership and business. Like, it's just what we've got happening right now is what's most suitable for me and what I want to bring to Instagram and where my Instagram's going. I feel like I've met a lot of people. It's a great company to work for. They're very connected. I like the community we've built there. What I'm doing in that kind of realm of active where I'm happy where I'm at the moment. I don't want to think too far in front. We've been talking about more collaborations. There's a lot more colours coming and things coming in the current collection. So for right now, my plans with them are 12 monthly based.
That's
so
great.
I wouldn't look past that for that point of my life.
Yearly's
right
heaps.
now. Yeah.
You know, it's easy to look further.
Yeah.
But you know, year's good. Hey, I'd love to ask people as well about what could have been done better. You know, obviously now looking back, I'm sure there's things that maybe you feel like you could have changed, maybe you could have adjusted, maybe a different color. Is there anything, I guess, that stands out to you now that you can sort of, that you look back on now and think, maybe I would have adjusted that, or maybe I can take this into future ideas? Is there anything that stood out to you in that front?
Maybe like a few things, maybe just like personally, like even when it was coming up, I was not expecting a lot more like quickness and like, you know, because 15 months is a long time, and I was asking for like, you know, clear ideas, and all props to Alicia and Lee because they were so patient with me. I probably would have just let myself relax a little bit more and probably not put so much pressure on a timeline. Which obviously there was pressure around the shoot because then we had decided on a date and I had to be flying interstate, and, you know, I was working a full-time job for majority of this collaboration.
Right.
So I had so much going on in the background that I couldn't just sit and be like, this is supposed to be enjoyable, that part of this.
Yeah.
So that, my time management probably would have been a bit more
Interesting.
controlled. Like,
But that's
so,
just like a time thing, right? Like, that's just something you learn, maybe a bit of maturity, like just something that you just...
Yeah, so that alongside maybe being a bit more available to go to Queensland during that time and be able to see the samples in person more, because I was doing a lot and having a lot of opinions after the fact when I could have gone there, but I was working Monday to Friday. So I
Which
was
makes
like,
it really hard, right?
Yeah.
So are you still working on Monday to Friday?
No, I quit
So-
my full-time job.
Great segue to the next point that I was going to ask you. You know, that's a pretty big deal
Yeah.
with like the world we live in now. You know, a lot of people are now able to work online, creating content.
Yeah.
And what was the moment for you, and perhaps it was recently, that you realised that you could no longer need to work full time, but you can actually work in content?
I always had this like addiction to being the person who had like a full-time job and then like 4 different hobbies.
Yeah, yeah.
Making different money everywhere. It was like my full personality trait. Bad time.
Yeah.
I think the part where I realized, you know what, like I want to give it a proper red hot crack. I was working in finance, loved it there, like not your normal 9 to 5. I worked a Monday to Thursday instead though, so like a condensed work week, so I could try and use a Friday for more content based. Because I was working 8 till 6, and then using my half an hour break to do my content.
Yeah, wow.
Which was like chaos.
That's a busy day.
Eating on the go. And I loved it. I just had that thing for it.
Yeah.
When I realized that I could leave and probably make my life a bit easier in that and still be comfortable was when we obviously discussed with the collaboration how it would work, what payment would be like. Like obviously I was making a lot of sales with them, and that's why the opportunity was obviously given. But I was at work and they needed more from me. They were like, we need you more available. Like, how are we going to make a collection with your name on it and you've really got no involvement in it?
Yeah.
Sat down with my parents who love them. They've just always been like, set yourself up, go to uni, get a job, like do what you've got to do.
Do your typical,
And I just said to mum and dad, look, this is what they've proposed. I can do this and drop my job.
It's going to work.
It's going to work at least for 6 months, like at least for the lock-in and what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm not really stressed about what happens after 6 months because growth from here now with all my time and devotion to it is
hopefully going to be exponential. Yeah,
and you have to think that way.
You do. It's hard to think that way.
Yes.
It's hard to commit to that.
Very hard to convince your parents to understand.
I know. Well, that's a real point though, because I mean, it's really not, obviously you're very close with your parents, but it's a very real point, and it's a very it's like business in general, right? Taking that leap of faith, and Blake, I know you can relate with this as well, but it's a pretty scary thing because you lose that security of that 9 to 5, taking a risk. But it's really cool to hear you say like you now feel like all that extra time you've been able to put into this new project and new pathway, you do feel as though it's really going to exponentially give you opportunities.
Yeah.
You know, that's a nice feeling.
It is a nice feeling, and I think like even speaking realistically, I've lived out of home since I was 19 in town. Like I've loved it. But I said to mum, I want to move home. Like I want to save. I didn't really get to live my early 20s. Like I'm only 23, but I didn't get to live those like few years where you save heaps of money and you get to go out with your friends. Like I've been living out of home and things like that where my parents are like, come home, save. Like you can have that opportunity to now just focus on that. Like I'm grateful for that. So that's another realisation that was kind of hard at the start.
Yeah, true.
And then with mum and dad being like, so you're going to quit? Like, what do you mean you're just going to do Instagram full time? Like, good for you, but that's not really a real job. And I'm like, no, you've got to be open to it. And then obviously when we dropped and we launched and I went home to celebrate with mum and dad, best decision I'd ever made.
Oh,
that's great. When they were like,
oh, this is how it works.
Okay, all right, let's think about what the movements are now, like where you go from there.
It's actually crazy how much times are changing, right?
Oh,
like
mate.
with YouTube, with like social media altogether. But it's just like, I feel like while you're at school, all you're learning and all the teachers are drilling into you is so much around like, well, the backup, what about this? What about that? You need the job, you need this. But it's like times are changing quickly. I reckon we'll probably look back at ourselves right now and just be like, oh, people used to have like 9 to 5, like that used to be just a safety net, whereas it's like
it's definitely shifted.
Yeah, it's shifting so much. It's like kids are making millions playing video games now, you know.
And it's so funny, like parents just don't understand that.
Yeah. No.
And that's why it's like really interesting because
it's hard to blame them as well because it's like
just what they know.
Yeah, and when we're parents, there might be another thing where the world just keeps
we won't understand.
We're not going to understand.
Like,
no.
Why wouldn't you set yourself up and build a brand and, you know, market your brand on social media and blah, 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 post content. Yeah. It might be like that for us, but the kids are like, no, this is what we do, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's a good one.
So different.
Lily, what do you think makes someone, because obviously in a world of people who are influencing or trying to influence others, or like what do you think nowadays makes someone like influential? Like like it's a weird question, but like it's not like what makes a good influencer, but like,
but it is.
Yeah, what do you think? Is it literally just you need to be who you are, and like hopefully people will follow you and like you for you? Or
Yeah, I think like especially with my experience meeting people that I've even looked up to, like I was obsessed with Olivia May because of who she was as an athlete, how she engaged with her audience, how she spoke online. Like I loved everything about her, still do. I think she's an unreal influencer. But then you look at like, I've got 75,000 followers. I don't typically speak on my story. I'm too nervous for that. But what works for me and how I engage could be different to someone else. But what people are engaging with my page for is different to what XYZ is doing. So I think it's a very wide scope question. There's not really an answer for it, but what works for your page is just what you have to leverage on. Like for me, a lot of people are interested in the nutrition side, whereas with people like Olivia May, they love that she's a full-blown athlete. Like that's hers. So hard question to kind of put it on, but I think it comes down to if you're targeting your audience and the same thing is getting you engagement and people want to keep seeing that thing, you're obviously doing something right.
Just like my footy tips, mate. I told you this at the start, mate.
So is it nearly like, would I be right to say that you try one thing and it's like, oh, I didn't really hit, try another thing.
Yep.
And just keep going until you get like a big video, like big views, and you're like, oh, that's crazy. I didn't think that would go anywhere. Go back to it.
100%. I did the whole, did a workout video at Pinpoint, went nuts, tried to do it again, never went off again. And I was like, okay, kept trying to do the workouts. Then I went and did like the fashion scene. It is so hard to break into the fashion side of Instagram when you are stuck in fitness. I'm telling you right now.
Well, your fit checks at work was one thing that I noticed.
On TikTok.
That was cool.
That was going nuts.
That was doing
the
awesome.
Full finance spec. It was
and like the guy you're with, with all due respect, like the cute
Jared,
guy,
yeah, he's the best. We were just doing like fit checks, and that worked on TikTok. So my fitness stuff didn't benefit off TikTok, but for now, my page is I primarily post what I eat in a day.
Yeah.
So it's a photo in the mirror, outfit, fitness outfit, swipe what I eat in a day, and that's obviously all linked to the evidence-based training stuff as well. So that's what my audience likes, and that's what I just do. And they get like 10,000 likes of posts, and then a photo dump will get like 900 likes.
It's crazy, eh? It's a weird.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a certain pressure with having so many people? Like, do you feel like pressure to post?
No.
Not really?
I feel like I definitely like I haven't had an experience yet or a feeling where I'm like nervous or I feel like people are waiting for me to post or I need to post. I feel like I enjoy it. It happens naturally. It's consistent enough.
Yeah, yep.
Was worried about the hate side for ages. Haven't encountered that yet, which I'm very grateful for.
Touch wood.
Touch wood.
Yeah, because we don't want hate. No one wants hate, right?
We don't want
I've had
hate.
haters, all right? I've had a few haters. My YouTube comments the other day, someone was like, fucking using someone for their name or something. And I was like, bro, it's just like a golf video. Like, I'm not even doing anything. Like,
but that's like one thing that I felt pressure for. I don't want to ever have an opinion. And that's why I think I've steered clear a lot from speaking on my Instagram because I've always been worried about what other people think and now I just don't care.
It's so hard because I almost feel like to take that next step forward, you do need to really go out on a limb and start to really voice your opinion.
Exactly.
But if that's like for me, naturally, I can talk well and whatever, but for me to talk on a controversial topic, I'm a real people pleaser.
Yes.
So I struggle to do that. But I know a lot of people who pop off online will say things. You go through their comments, all of it's negative, but they're 100%. Getting like, for example, that Adrian guy off maths. All right, that's just one example I'll give you. Right, like he looked like a bit of a tool, and I'll say that openly on maths. He looked like a bit of a twat.
Lots of opinions on that.
Bit of a twat on Adrian. Sorry, Adrian, but you did look like a bit of a twat, son. And his videos and like just riling people up, like, and it's all negative, but it's just firing.
But some people some people benefit off the negative chat. Like you look at a lot of influencers even now, like you got all this controversy with Anna Paul and she's still got her people and it's just, I feel like it's a game where like, it's not a game and that sounds really bad, but you've just, one thing like my goal for my Instagram, I want to talk more on my Instagram.
I think it's a good goal.
Yeah. So like I've started, including that in like the drop and in all the marketing. They were like, go and ask for an opinion. And I was like, not particularly. Do you want to like put the camera on him and we'll do a voiceover? No.
You want to walk around with the mic and ask people, and
that's a good intro. That's a good intro into that space.
Yeah.
Though, instead of just jumping straight on Instagram and just like, hey, welcome back. Yeah,
I literally like one of the videos I'm talking about like the sampling process. And at the end of it, I'm like, supports the puppies. And then everyone was laughing. They're like, you need to talk more. And my mum even commented, oh, yeah, like it's good for all of us ladies, the puppies. So little things like that, I can look at and be like, that's something I'd like to work on. And that's a goal of mine for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a good goal.
I'm just very opinionated.
I know,
I just got to try and be careful.
Like, I know.
Go down that road.
You got to be careful.
Yeah.
Because you can get cancelled.
Yes.
And people will come after you, Online people will come after you.
Oh, it's relentless.
It's scary.
Yeah, like I even get like I do what I eat in a day, and then in my bio the other day I had eat like me, and it had the link to evidence-based training, and someone commented, you can't say eat like me because you train and you play sport, and I'm like, I understand.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to follow the program, like I follow a program, and that's just me. But you can't please everyone. You know what I mean?
Definitely can't.
So you've just got to pick your battles.
You do need to pick your battles. I think you just need. Do you need to laugh about it? Do you just need to try
I
and
laugh.
find the?
Oh, my dad's the best. He sends it. He's like, "Are you kidding me?"
I know. I know. Do you interact with people online? Are you someone who's like
something I probably should be better at? I don't really, and it's not like I'm purposely like I'm not going to reply to that. I feel like because there is so much traction to the page, things get lost, and some posts overperform, and you're getting comments and. I try and reply to all my DMs in the hidden and hidden section and people saying, oh, how can I get, a program or what's the sizing like for your collection and what do you think of this? I try, but I need to be better. And that's the difference between someone with 600,000 and someone with 75 that's trying to make it. Like you have to engage more.
Well, that's a good point. But also and this is what I would like to ask you too, is like in a week, like run me through like a week for you, like in terms of how many hours you're putting into content and like what's a week like for you at the moment?
So at the moment now, obviously with the no full-time job, I still try and maintain a very realistic routine. So try and keep everything between 9 to 5, use those hours in the day to go to the gym and film and all other content I have to do in between that. I usually try and film 2 to 3 videos a day.
Yeah.
That includes all my editing will be done on the same day.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Because, like, man, me editing one video is like, my footy tips this up. It took me like 2 hours on my phone. I was like, fuck, that's me done for Monday.
Yeah,
you know
and
what I mean?
think that's something that a lot of people don't understand. Like, when I say 3 videos in a day, it'll be like one, what I eat in a day, which I'm always halfway forgetting meals. So like then preparing a prep meal.
While you're videoing.
For a photo, putting it back in. Like it's a lot of things that you've got to remember consciously to make sure your content, because I post every day, or at least I try.
Yeah.
But that'll be one gym video, one what I eat in a day, and one try on haul. And editing, all my girlfriends that do Instagram, they all use their laptop. I'm still using Splice on my phone.
See, that's cool, right?
Yeah, and they're all like, why don't you you have a Mac? Like, why don't you? And I'm like, because I can't work it out.
Mate, Jacob the other day, I was telling him that I was editing something on my phone, and I was on my phone like dragging on what's the app that we all use? CapCut. I was dragging something and I was like, kept missing it. He was looking at me going, bro, like you're doing my head in, like just send it to me and I'll just do it on my laptop in like 1 second.
That is seriously, like I'm on the phone and it's like tap it, split, drag, cut, and everyone's like, you're wasted, but I do it quicker on the phone.
Yeah.
And the way the style in which I film, like it's like 0.8 seconds like for each video because it chops and changes.
Yeah.
And it's so much time.
Yeah. Well, you get really good at editing, right?
Oh, yeah.
But the other thing too, and this is a good one, and Blake, you'll like this, is naturally just being able to have an eye, because you can edit a video and then you can edit a video. You know, like there's a difference between
there's a huge
good edit and like an edit that's going to be like, oh, that's cool.
And
how do you know how to edit a video good?
See, I think that's a very interesting question, because I know like a lot of the viral workout videos I do see at the moment are generally less than 30 seconds. It's a quick run through.
Really
My videos are always like a minute 15.
I
like to do the whole workout, give you a different angle of each exercise. I'm trying to learn to shorten them and not have to like drag them out so much in that way. But a good video for me is probably just like camera crispiness. Like I tried to use the Canon for a while, the G7X everyone used.
Yeah.
Bought it, didn't like it for videos, so got rid of it. Those videos didn't do it any better than my iPhone content. Like one thing I've learned is that Instagram favors phone content. I don't think the camera stuff really
There you go.
goes that well unless you're in the fashion space. You're taking like them good pics.
Doing the Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, unless you're doing all that kind of stuff. That's different.
That's us, Blake, you know, the fashion. You know what's funny too? Like with girls, and I say this with all due respect, but like glute workouts, you know, we're very saturated right now with women and glute workouts and like the cameras obviously sitting there and like the ass is in the face. Like I'm just trying to think of the equivalent for a guy. Like if you're a bloke, like are you just like popping it on your chest and like just slam it incline bench and just go
Exactly.
on, brah, look at more fucking chest. Like I feel like as a chick, like obviously girls, for most girls, I won't speak for everyone, but like having a good booty, like is probably like a bloke having like good arms, maybe a good chest.
Good
like,
arms, I reckon.
It's important. You reckon arms?
100%.
So okay, well that leads to my next point. Do we if we're doing fitness content, because I don't really follow that many blokes who do good fitness like blokey content, like. But does
do you
it
know
need?
what? I don't really think I do either.
I'm trying to think who. Like I used to follow like Callum Von Mogger. Do you remember him?
Yeah, back
I
in
don't
the
know
day.
who that is.
What about C-Bum?
C-Bum, like, sorry, I just yelled into
C-Bum, he's fucking awesome. We got a C-Bum fan over here.
Sorry, I just got a bit sweaty. His stuff was all right.
He's cool.
But he's got an audience. Like, he sells, like, that's...
But if you're swiping through videos and you see a girl doing a deep squat versus me doing like a preacher curl, like you're not going to...
I'm not going to lie. If I see a guy doing a workout video, I just...
Next.
Not even in a bad way. I'm just never like, you like what you like. Like I'm on there trying to steal. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Normal.
Yeah.
The guy's content, I'm not too sure about it unless you're absolutely in the space. It's like you were saying, it's like, Bailey, you're training every day with those Warwicks on you, mate.
Yeah. The pipes, mate.
But like, you're not looking at that kind of stuff.
No.
It's kind of like, that's probably equivalent for me
True.
like listening to, or like we were talking about JP, like some
True.
really,
What's our algorithm?
Yeah, like words, like deep, good conversation.
Yeah.
It must be because like when Samara goes on my phone, she's just like looking through like chick stuff. So now my algorithm is filled with chicks, but she loves like the girl fitness stuff, and and like you said, she loves following the story of people in the fitness world and hearing what they get up to. And I think it's really exciting for you too to be challenging yourself maybe this year to be talking more in front of the camera and things like that. And this is, you know, this is a safe space for you.
Like this was on my like, you know, when you do, I never used to be a goal setter.
Yeah.
I remember when I was like 19, I was trying to goal set and I was just doing it to just, you know, be impressive. I don't know who I was trying to satisfy or make feel better about me, but never really worked out. But this year I was like, you know what? I want to go on a podcast. I had a list of things that I wanted to get done. And when you spoke to me, I was like, this is time.
We're ticking a box.
Funny. Like, I
You are.
some shit
You
to
do.
share.
You do.
It was like,
C-Bum. Oh my God. I love
that's going to be a snipped highlight for sure. But
I'll
quickly,
be
just
clipping
on the guys, you talking about guys' content.
Yeah.
One thing that I do like seeing, and majority of the ones that I have followed and I've kept watching at their stuff, is like heaps of guys that do like clothing businesses or they have done activewear businesses and they do like behind the scenes of what they're doing. Example,
That's
front
cool.
runner.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah.
Watching him and they do
He's
those
cool.
little front runner like episodes and they're talking about behind the scenes. Like I feel like that's a great market.
It
We've
is.
seen a male strive in that market, you know, like that kind of stuff.
He's a real vibe, especially when he's talking through his collection and like you can tell he knows how to wear the pieces. Like because he's literally telling you how you should wear it and you're like,
but he can sell it himself. Like that's a way where you watch something, you're like, that's good to watch. Like he knows his market, he knows his audience. He's really passionate about what he's brought out and he knows it's going to sell. So I feel like those kind of things are probably where men more leverage in Instagram. What I've seen.
I like that. And have you heard of Tide On, that Newcastle brand?
Unreal.
He's
a champ. Shout out. He's good.
He should be coming on the podcast in a couple of weeks. I'll be messaging him. But even his content's a good example of like now he's in Glue Store. It's a local Newy lad. And he is really smashing that idea of the process and all the little things. And this person spent this much on an order or what goes into this production or whatever. He's really cool with it.
An unreal story about him. Like we used to work. I worked at Hype Charlestown for like 4 years
Right.
when I was in high school.
Yeah,
Best
this
job
is cool.
ever. I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
so much
Hype.
leverage. I was like 60% off
The
shit.
high top.
Like sick. And Titan, is it Tyson?
I don't know.
Let's
but
cut
the
that
brand,
bit
the
out.
brand's
Anyways,
Titan,
the brand's
isn't it?
Titan.
Yeah,
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 I
yeah.
think it's Tyson though.
Yeah. You worked with him, so
Yeah, well, he worked at Platypus. So we knew each other, right? Back then, and he just knows how to sell something.
Yeah.
And when he brought out that brand, I remember, like, from the day, like, he's given me shirts before, and they're unreal quality, like,
Sick.
stuff you haven't seen. But he has always been able to sell something, and watching his new videos about, like, I made this much money, but I'm not satisfied. Like, you watch, you're like, oh, how much money did you make? And then he's walking through the process. Like, he's getting orders every day. Like,
Massive.
it's crazy.
Yeah. That's a good point because you are looking at like, oh, my next job's going to be like 10K. I'm like, shit, is it?
Yeah,
like,
is it? What do you mean? Tell me
where's the
more.
video? Like, I want to see, did he do it? Like,
Yeah.
With the money thing, this is one thing I thought was a good question was going from 9 to 5 security, you know, you get your pay, whatever, to earning money like online, making content. You don't need to tell me how much you make, but like, I want to know more about like, is it still something that you can make money consistently? Is it just a lot more variable? Like, is it?
It's probably my most common question I get asked by people when I do say I do social media now, because saying,
how much do you make?
yeah, well, they're like, so you just do that full time, and I hate saying it. I'm like, yeah, I do social media. I'm like, oh, I can't even sound like a gym wear owner. It's like, I'm not. I think like when I was doing the full time and the socials, it was cool. It's like you have your ABN, you have to do it all yourself. You know, I've had to learn how to put tax away. Like school didn't teach me that.
True.
You know, stuff like that. Where for me, I was like, it's how it works, because obviously businesses are different. You get paid monthly, or you can get paid upfront once you post, or things like that. With the position I'm in now, I try and space them out, try and do it fortnightly, so I'm not waiting for the end of the month to get a pay. Wait, what was your question again?
Well, no. This is good. This is good because like what I'm trying to ask is like basically what you said. Are you putting away, I guess, everything and paying yourself a weekly amount? Is it something that depends?
So the number, how it works really, to put it just quite honestly, that you get a retainer. That's per month. Like I wouldn't have quit my job if I didn't have some sort of solid retainer.
Sure.
And then the other component is my commission. So based on X amount of orders, you get X amount of percentage. Gotcha. So the retainer, at least I know as soon as that comes, that's what I'm getting minimum. I could sell nothing in that month. I've still got my retainer.
Gotcha.
So
that's your fallback almost.
Yeah, that's like almost what my minimum is a month.
If people don't fucking care about what I'm eating that month, I'm still going to get this.
Yeah, I'm like, if I get that, even if like I get cancelled and no one buys the collection, I've got a retainer.
That workout was too long. That was a minute 50.
Yeah, these videos need to be like 18 seconds now. But with that, like when I do get it, I just, in my brain, 30% tax, 30% savings.
Gotcha.
Well, like I transfer my mum my savings because like I need to do that.
That's good.
I can't have access to it.
Samara holds our savings too, so I feel you there.
Yeah, so I send mum, then I've got my own savings, which is just like my bills, rent for the time being until I move home. But it's really, you need to be very disciplined, and you need to understand that it's not play money now. Like we're not mucking around with just like $800 after tax now.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing where I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Mum, I got to send you this because I don't even know what, you don't realise what you to do with that then. Like you've got to still manage to put savings away and be smart.
That's a really good insight though, because that's something that I didn't know and I was really interested in. Like how influencers, how do they get paid? But the hardest thing too, and you probably agree with this, how many people would get paid these big lump sums of money? They wouldn't know how to pay tax on it. You wouldn't know how to save. Like,
and you can come undone that way. Like I have had numerous stories. Like the thing that I was most scared probably of is like, what do you end up doing when you get that kind of money? Like you need to be smart about it. And that's why you see now like a bunch of people doing it. They've got houses really young and they're investing their money, which is smart. But how do you teach kids in their early 20s, some of them even in their late teens?
Yeah.
Like you need to invest or save your money. Like you need to do something with it. Like no one's teaching them that unless your parents. Like I'm lucky enough to have a great supportive circle of people around me that have helped me. That is
true. Good friends, good friends, good family. Yeah. But if you don't have that around you,
it's very hard.
You're going to end up
Barefoot Investor.
Read a book. Read
I
a
remember
book.
that was literally the first thing I remember. I read that. I think I just turned pro. Oh, it was in COVID.
Yeah, yeah.
And I read it. I was like, oh yeah, mad. I'm gonna open all these accounts like tax, growth, emergency.
Yeah.
It was actually, it's a good foundation. Like, you're not going to lose by reading that book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It probably doesn't suit everyone, but especially to your point about putting tax away and stuff, and, being a sole trader and stuff is literally what I felt like I had to learn. But at the start, it's like, it's so weird because I didn't know anyone else in my circle of friends
that was doing that.
Yeah. Everyone else is like, what do you mean you have to pay tax? I'm like, well, you're paying tax, but your boss is paying it for you, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, and that's when someone's doing it for you. I don't think I understood that, and I'm telling you what, I don't read.
Well,
Like,
no one looks at
I
their
should
pay slip.
read.
Like, it's
No.
like, I just want to know what goes in. Like, I don't care about all the other things.
I just want to make sure it came into the CBA account.
Yeah,
like that's, put that in.
true.
I send my rent out, and that kind of
Sweet.
practice. But like you just said, to pick up a book, like I'm lucky I had who I had because I wasn't reading.
Yeah, no one's reading.
Like I've just started podcasting.
Yeah,
it's hard. I can't even sit for 5 minutes and not move or do something. So I'm trying
Let
to
me call that ADHD. Is that what it is?
We call it.
undiagnosed. But I think we're on the pathway.
Blakey, and like for you as well, it's a great topic for you because you're the exact same. Being a pro golfer, someone who has had success, loss, all in between.
Yeah.
Pay being infrequent, overly frequent.
Yeah.
For you, like how do you
like?
like mentally, you had to learn a lot yourself, and is it something that you just got to learn the right thing to do? Obviously, discipline.
I think it's discipline for sure. But like, I remember I was just thinking when you were talking about quitting your job and stuff, or you making money online or whatever, and I thought back to like I'd never had a job, thankfully. I remember Dad would just give me like $100 a week, and he's like, just try and. That's back when you could try and make it work. For food. And I remember I turned pro on my first event. I finished like tied 10th, like real good finish, whatever, and I made like 3,200, and I didn't have any money in my bank account, like maybe $50 or whatever. My parents had transferred me the week before, and I was like. I remember speaking to a few of the boys. I've
made it.
Like,
I've made it.
Set. Like, I can go up to. This is back when I would probably shop at Charlestown Square. I can go up
you
there.
Still do, bro.
Yeah. I was up there this morning.
I've seen you up there at Universal.
I can go and buy whatever I want to buy. I was thinking, this is crazy. Now what? And then I started to realize, I'll put 30% away for tax. So I got in a real good habit of that. And then over time, it's like, all right, forget about the money. Money comes in. A lot of money comes in. A lot of money goes out, especially if you're not playing well. It just feels like you're honestly, to golf, as I think I've said this a million times, but it's like to an extent, it's nearly like you're at the bloody poker table, just gambling, and it's like you pay $5,000 to fly to this country and play, and you miss the cut by one on the Friday, and you get paid $0, and you've spent $5,000 to get there, and then you're like, you do that for 7 weeks in a row. I tell you what, you're in a bloody dark spot. You're down in the dumps. Hey? It's not like you're
in the middle of Spain.
It's not like you're multi last night.
That was nice, mate.
It's worse than that.
And we don't endorse gambling, but we also do on this show. But me, Blakey, and one of my mates, Tommy Smith, we put $20 in each and hit a try scorer. First thing I said, I got it straight on Uber Eats, and I was like, Kintyre it is, baby. 150 Kintyre, mate. You can't make it up, can you?
Story. So we go, $20 in, like you said. Yep, Pappenhausen and Cooler.
Yeah.
Anyway, Cooler goes over. Second half. Bailey's like,
mate,
bro, we're getting Kintyre.
Mate, I manifested it, didn't I?
I
had the order up.
No joke. He's got the order in his cart. He's like, yep, 7 or 8 dishes or whatever. He's like, yep, it's going to be this much. As soon as he goes over, I'll press send. Then he goes over. He's like, all right, I'm going to press send. Like, we'll order it. I'm thinking, I can't wait to tell the boys this one.
Mate, that's
so
actually, that is true.
Yeah.
I was manifesting it.
I was cracking
when he
up.
scored, I was like, yes, I'm just going to add an extra grilled chicken or something too, because fucking why not, Hey, Lily, tell me about working with Cunnies and your role there, because obviously he's gone bananas the last couple of years. He's built a really unique little empire.
Yep.
I never realized how big his following was. Like, I was like, yeah, he's funny, whatever. Like, he's doing cool stuff. But then I started to really watch and see how many people were partaking in his challenges and this and that. And what was that like working with a brand like him? And what did that teach you? And I guess, you know, what did you love about working with him?
Yeah, I think that was probably because this was when I started working for him, we were talking about the collaboration Keep That Pump. So it was still just like my Keep That Pump collaboration. Yep. This was pretty big. Like when I got contacted to work with them, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, a lot of people knew spin kicker, like all that kind of stuff. That was, and they've got a big team, and that was awesome. I was getting my first, I was getting flown to Queensland, and I was at Cunny's HQ, and I posted in there, and I was like, just at HQ.
Sick,
and people were like, oh my God. Because
you?
Yeah, well, he didn't really have ambassadors.
True.
So I was like, not that I'm claiming, but I think I was like his first.
There wasn't many.
No, he was just like, people were naturally posting and tagging him and stuff because he sells, like his brand, like it works. Like it's obviously evident that everything that he's promoting and what he sells works. So when I was working for him, it was great exposure for me. I also learned so much about, like, his story is amazing. Like he's been on a podcast before, and you just listen, and it's like he's built something from going to uni and finishing uni and then going into that space and making his whole brand based on like his personality, really. Like he's a really another good seller, and he's really all about his product. And working for them, it was obviously programming and nutrition. The nutrition's unreal. Like I will just put that out there. Like I follow like the recipe ebooks and stuff. Like it's very straightforward, really. It's a very easy way to monitor. The app's great. But heaps of opportunities through there. I met a lot of great people. I feel like we did like a little skit where it was the Stop Gaslighting Me, You Dickhead. That went and I had like 600,000 views, and everyone was like, oh my God, like she's funny, do another one. And they, you know, it worked. So working for someone and seeing how much traction and engagement they got was crazy. Like I had never understood that, and I probably got a better glimpse into content creation and how using your voice and being interactive in that light is a whole different game. Like I could have never at that point.
That's interesting. And like, what did you find that with ideas? Is it literally like everyone sit around this table, get the whiteboard out, and let's like write some shit down?
No,
or
one thing I'll give you right now, which is the coolest thing I ever experienced, watching Adam Sullivan make a video. He would just walk in the gym, like full credit to him. So I think I'm creative. He just walks, roll the camera. All right, he just says stuff, and then it'll be like, he just goes, say something, just stop gaslighting me, you dickhead. And I just said it, and it comes together. Someone edits it. It's up. To be able to create content that quick in that way, that's a skill. You can't teach someone that. It's like when my dad says when you play soccer, you can read a game and you can run quick. I can't teach you that, but I can teach how to get a good touch. Like that's easy. Like those kind of concepts. He'd do it, and I'd just be sitting there like, oh my God, it wasn't no whiteboard. Like he does all these whiteboard stuff now, but the actual concepts are so quick and on the spot.
Is that just simply just creativity, do you think?
Like 100%. I think he knows, he's educated. He knows what he's talking about. Like the nutrition and the programming, that's his niche. He gets that. The creative side and the humor side. Like that's just him, you know? So that was a really awesome
That's
thing
a cool
to be
experience to
of
share.
and see.
That's so interesting. Blake, we need to work on our just impromptu videos.
He's whiteboard. He's whiteboard.
I'm sitting here with my legs crossed. He's up there on the whiteboard. I'm like,
my notes
Good
is just
idea.
like, you know what I do? Actually, I don't know if you guys do this, but I text myself. Do you have like your
Yes,
own
I've
number?
got my own number.
Do you do that?
I've
got it like pinned at the top.
Oh, mine's
like,
so
Messenger.
funny. Mine's like shopping list,
Mate,
reminders.
I text myself the post golf shirts. I don't know what that was about. Sriracha. I was like to buy sriracha sauce and like I just forget shit. So
when I'm sending a big message, like if I'm like having like a conversation with someone, or I've got to pull someone up, it's texting myself the message and seeing how I'd feel reading it.
Really? That's hectic.
I'm like, if that pops up, how much are they going to see that first message? What's the key points to get the point across?
Wow.
It's going to captivate.
That is
I just use no.
Holy, that's like next
like,
level.
that's
I
a good
thought I was
idea.
crazy, but you're like texting yourself the situation to be like,
Fucking
imagine like
replying
role
to
playing,
yourself.
like dressing up as your friend and being like, bzz, bzz. Lily,
that
this
was-
fucking- Lily, this bitch is bitch. She want to say, she want to fuck on me?
Firstly, I just want to start by saying,
Yeah.
Saying
Whoa. Whoa. I'm going to reply to this. What the fuck? That's a pretty funny skit. That could be an idea of it. I don't know how we'll work that out. But
make
anyway.
it work. Yeah.
We just want to touch on finally, Lily, a little bit about the basics, diet, training,
Yeah.
your current schedule. I know you touched on you follow your diet with you guys up north
Yeah.
you've been working with. What is your weekly diet look like now, and also what is your training regime?
Oh,
I know you
this
said
is the-
that,
this is the
but like
class question.
give me like your stock standard a week for you in terms of eating,
And training.
training, and also weekends too.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about a little bit about calories,
Yep.
counting calories,
Yep.
deficit, surplus, things like that.
Yeah.
If I remember. that.
Yeah, I'll remind you.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
won't, but yeah. Training. I'll just start with training because I'll get confused if I mix the both. So
Yep.
I try and go to the gym every day. When I am at the gym, I obviously film. So realistically, I'm in the gym at least 4 days a week, whether that be 3 in the week, 1 on the weekend, depending how I'm feeling. If I get 5 in the week, that's unreal. But I
week.
always obviously keep into account that I'm training soccer twice a week. So my Monday and Wednesday arvos are just dedicated to soccer and then a game on the weekend. So if I train on Monday, we do like a conditioning based session. I usually train legs because it's kind of stupid. I don't really know where I got that from, but I train my legs, go to soccer training. I do a mix of upper push and pull alternative on Tuesdays.
Yep.
Wednesdays conditioning, and then conditioning in the afternoon, and a full game kind of set up for training. And then I'll train glutes on a Thursday or Friday.
Right.
Play
So
Saturday
you're
or
doubling
Sunday.
glutes down, doing like a upper body one day and then like a con.
Yeah, so it's
pretty
like
much.
con, 2 lower body and an upper body guaranteed in the week.
Yep.
And then I've obviously got soccer on the weekend, which varies on a Friday, Saturday or a Sunday.
True. Another con hit out, yep.
Yeah, I love the con at the moment. Used to hate it.
So you Tone Lab?
This is another
Where
question.
are you?
So
Like you're everywhere.
I used Tone Lab. One of my best mates owns Tone Lab,
Yep.
legend.
Yep.
And I
Shout
got a
out Tone
key.
Lab.
Shout out Tone Lab. Shout out Jordan.
Yep, Jordy.
Yeah, he gives me a key so I can film there, which is great
Awesome.
because obviously I'm not in the group fitness scene much. I used to do
True.
Pinpoint for a bit. But
yeah.
that's like you're all bred different there. I don't know. like
Yeah,
you're all
yeah,
fit
yeah,
as.
yeah.
Like I thought I was really fit and I still think I'm pretty fit. And then I go there and be like, why do I feel ill?
yeah.
And even Tone Lab and
Amen.
like Basin, I'm like, you guys are all legends. Like Simi
Yeah.
and
Beast.
Chuggy, I'm like,
Beast
you
mode.
guys move.
Yeah.
Like I think, I'm not moving like that.
Oh, it's like a full time. It's like training for a sport. Like they're committed. Like I know Samara and Chug and all those girls, and everyone at Pinpoint, even the boys. Like they're full committed. Like
Free, like so good. It's an impressive as. And
Yeah.
I've just realised I think I love the gym, but I've loved it so much more since I could just go on my own term. And,
yeah, doing your own thing.
wake up, I go at 10 or 11, or
Yeah.
some days I'll go early, and some days I will go and join the group fitness stuff. Like I went to Basin on the Saturday
Yep.
session.
Yep.
I enjoyed it, but I wasn't running like that.
no,
like these people are lapping me on their second, and I'm not even at my 500 meter yet. I'm like, Pulley, I play in 2 days. Like, I don't
Yeah,
wanna ruin
like,
myself.
nah,
And he's
that's
like,
right.
yeah, righto.
yeah.
But yeah, so that's like the
a week
training
training.
regime.
Yeah.
Food wise, I eat a very clean diet, and I'm
Yeah.
very obviously it's also down to genetics. I think genetics
True,
play
true.
a major role for me. I am very fortunate, and I feel
Your
like
dad is pretty good looking.
so
Just
mum,
quietly.
Yeah,
I haven't seen your mum, so I'm sure your mum's beautiful too. But I
Yeah.
know your dad's a bit of a hottie.
he's a bit of cool. Got a
He's-
bit of
is it-
style.
Are you Italian? What?
Nah, Croatian. Mum and dad.
Croatian. Both
Yeah.
of them. So you 50% Croatian.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
well, I mean, like all my grandparents born there.
Gotcha,
Mum and dad
gotcha.
born here, but they both speak and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't.
wow.
I wish.
That's okay.
Like, I
That's a
would've
goal
loved
for this
that.
year written down.
I put that on there. I tried that. What's that app?
Duolingo.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Like
podcast tick, learn
yeah,
Croatian.
seriously. I mean, it's been on the goal list since I was 19, and obviously that goal list hasn't gone far.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. My parents, dad's always been fit. Dad played soccer like all
Yeah.
of his young life, like Socceroos and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm in a naturally very fit family.
True.
But we have grown up eating clean. But we've
Yeah.
also enjoyed, like I eat
You
how
still go
what
out
I
for a few
want.
drinks, but
Oh,
like,
I love
mate, come on, you love a good
I
time,
love
mate.
a jammer,
yeah.
try. Like that's
You
my
love a
order.
drink, mate.
But in saying that, and this is something I get asked all the time because Adam and I actually spoke about when I started the evidence base. I was like, oh, I'll do what I eat in a weekend.
Yeah.
Let's just see how it goes. And I'm still eating clean. Like I'm
Yeah,
out for
yeah.
brekkie, bit of smashed avo,
Yeah.
then I'll go to mum and dad's and I'll cook a barbecue and then we'll
Yeah.
have a few JDs. And then,
Yeah.
and people
Yeah.
were like, oh, how do you do that? And I'm like,
fuck?
but you need balance. Like I went to a hens
Yeah.
On the weekend, I felt like shit.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, this is awful. Drove mum and dad to Tim Zoo fight. They had ringside tickets. They were love life.
You beauty.
Pick them up, they're drunk. I'm hungover, like shake. I'm driving the new Prado.
Oh, shit.
And I drive them home and I'm just thinking, I just need to go home. But then I wake up, go to the gym, eat. Like I've had a great day of eats today and I feel fine. But I don't let it affect. If you can have balance and control like that and you can go and eat a good diet and you can drink your water and you can, there's no reason why you can't go out and celebrate a friend's birthday. And I've always been big on that.
Yeah.
But I prioritize in eating a very clean diet. Like I don't really eat takeout. Not that if I wanted to, I wouldn't.
Yeah. But you are strict. You are strict.
Yeah, I would say I keep, like it pretty standard, stock standard. Breakfast, keep it clean.
Yeah.
But I enjoy what I go to the Prince and have a steak like twice a week.
Yeah. Well, it's good. It's balance, right? It's balance.
So important.
And it's so easy to fall either way because it's like this balance beam where it's like one end is like respectfully, you eat terribly, you look terrible, feel terrible, and you probably get unwell because of systemic autoimmune, whatever conditions. And the other side of it is you take it too serious. You probably
stress yourself out.
Friends, you probably
lose your mind a little bit.
Probably
too.
mentally unwell.
And then you're like basing your whole life on that. And that's like you don't want to live like that.
I know. It's so crazy because it really is like a seesaw. It's like either end is really bad. It's just finding that middle. And it's like it's easy to fall into either of those. Like let's be real. You could if health didn't matter, you'd just eat whatever you wanted, right?
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
Macca's, steak, like you just wouldn't. You'd sauces, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've realized over the last couple of years is that I always like, if I could be so strict, like I could just become like a Nazi strict.
Yeah.
But then I realized like even if I did that, I still wouldn't be happy. Like, some of the things I enjoy the most is going out for a dinner or going out for a drink and a wine or eating out with the boys or taking someone out for dinner after a multi, mate. After I manifested that multi. Like, does it get any better than that, mate? On a Sunday Arvo? Like, that's what dreams are made of. You know what I mean? I went to bed happy. I had dreams last night of like the Kintai and the multi.
That's what we were saying yesterday. We're like, what did we do when it was off season in footy? Like,
mate, nothing.
What did we do Sunday?
We were miserable, mate. Literally, multis
so
with the boys on the weekend. But you're so, and obviously you look fantastic physically because you train and eat well. But it's nice to hear you say that because I do fear sometimes there are a lot of people, not only blokes, but there would be a lot of young girls as well who see all these influencers and people and think, oh my God, to look a certain way, I can't drink, I can't eat, I've got to starve myself, I've got to, whatever, train 20 times a day, but it's just not the case. And it's not this key to being happy.
But what makes it really hard for the position that I am in, and not that it's hard because I'm so grateful that I do what I do, I get asked a lot of questions, what's it look like typically for a week, like what we just spoke about, and that changes. And for me to go online and say, oh yeah, I eat this many calories and I do this and do that. Like most people are going to go pick up a sport. Like what am I, you're going to go play a full-time sport, go to the gym when you feel like it, eat clean majority of the time and not feel guilty on the weekend. Like who am I to tell you, go eat that and you'll look like me. That's bullshit.
That is true because that's not easy to do, right?
No. Like it's not. And it's easy for me because it's my lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's why I'm very careful with how I talk about it because it works for me.
Yeah.
And I can guide you and tell you to eat clean and work hard.
Yeah.
Whether you do that's going to be on you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, like you said,
right. It would be easy to look back and sit back and be like, well, it's easy for you to say like you do X, Y, and Z. So but I've got like, family of kids or I've got this, I'm diabetic or, I don't have time to go to the gym or, but like, I feel like there's a lot of people who make excuses as well. Yeah. So
100% agree.
I'm like, yeah, I get it. You're doing it tough or it's hard. Yeah, you probably don't have as much time as me. Yeah, but are you doing as much as you can,
Yeah, it must be so hard. Like, obviously a few of the boys have had babies now.
True.
Heaps of them actually.
And
it's just like starting to look at that kind of life. I'm like, man, that is like, you would have to be, you think, you're strapped for time right now. It's like imagine. And
how many hours does a baby cost you a week? Yeah. And when I say cost you, I mean in a nice way. Like it's not like you're losing time. Like it's okay.
On the other hand, I watched a thing of a reel of Sonny Bill this morning, and it
Yeah.
was just him like waking up, say 4 a.m. or whatever, and he probably goes to bed early, whatever.
Yeah.
And wakes up, goes down, trains, goes to the gym, has his protein shake, everything. He was trying to make a point before the kids get up at 6:30 or whatever for school, and before he has to go and help. It's like just adjusting your day, because it's like, and I know it's tougher for some people, like especially I'm in a very fortunate position right now not to be going to work at an early time or anything. It's kind of like your own hours.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, just adjusting and constantly like, all right, this phase of my life, you're trying to, build muscle, obviously eat as a fair bit, obviously. And then certain times in your life, it's going to completely switch, and it's like, all right, I need to rein it in a little bit. This is my goal for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It's just like being able to evolve and like adapt, I feel like it's so easy for people to, like you were saying, this is how many calories you eat, and just do that every single day. It's like,
and just go and listen.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. It's always going to change. We need to be pretty,
But then the other side too is like, it is hard to actually diet, and like people say, well, it's too hard. It's like, yeah, it's hard. Like it is hard.
Yeah.
But like,
because I can't imagine, honestly, and this is just so straight up, evidence-based training, very flexible. You can still enjoy good foods and diet. Like you don't have to go and eat beans, steak and rice and drink water and have sugar-free cordial. Like you can still enjoy good foods. Like if I had to seriously go and diet and I went and chose that lifestyle, I'd struggle.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I'm so good with my food is because I understand food.
Yeah.
I feel like I eat generally clean and healthy, but I still understand that if I want to eat that, I've got to not sacrifice, but I've got to understand it's all balanced.
Yeah.
But I can do that because I work my ass off.
Yeah, true.
So you have to have some sort of self-awareness and
you do.
commitment to
and
that.
you have to commit to learning. If you want to actually do it, you need to commit to learning about it.
Yeah.
Because you do, like a lot of the time, I think it's very hard to follow a diet or a plan if you don't actually understand why you're doing it.
Yeah.
So sometimes the hardest part is just understanding the basics about like why you're doing it, food in general, little things,
Yeah.
Have you, sorry, Blake, do you have something?
No, I was just going to say, like, and for anyone that hasn't kind of set out, whether you set a goal or whatever, it's just like setting, being disciplined in, say, for the next 2 weeks, I am going to eat this, and this, or this many calories, or whatever it is, whatever it looks like, and then completing that and ticking it off. It's like, I can't tell you how much confidence you get in any part of, not just diet, just anything in your life. It's like you come out of that like, oh, if I had to cut alcohol out of my life, I could do it. I probably don't want to.
Yeah, true.
It's so true.
It's never happening, but yeah.
Good point,
That's
Blake.
a bad example. Can we do something different? Can we do like chocolate bars or something? Actually, no, we can't do that even. Like, what about like vapes?
Yeah.
Like vapes is probably my.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't vape.
so
I
funny.
don't vape, Mum. It's right.
Bedroom drawer, man.
Yeah. Actually, Bonnie's still got that vape.
Yeah, I thought about it. I was thinking about it just before.
Actually, get rid of it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mum. LJ, finally, I wanted to ask you about a bit of a wrap-up question, really.
Yeah.
And I know you said you don't like to look too far in the future, but you in 1 year from now versus 5 years versus 10 years, like, is that something you think about, or where would you see
I'd be
yourself?
lying if I said 5 and 10 year. I kind of
that's pretty far, right?
I have, but I've got like, I had this conversation yesterday with one of my girlfriends that drove me back from the hens, and we were just talking about, like, if you asked me where I saw myself when I was 20, I'd be in a very different spot to where I am now. Like, I'm traditionally, I'm traditionally a wog. Like, I would have loved to have, been settled down, and like, I would have thought I'd be married at 24 and, being the first daughter, like walking down the aisle, and I'm like single.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Single as fuck.
I'm just chilling. But my goals wouldn't have been like to establish myself and make what I've got now, like, have a community and things like that. So I try not to think and put too much pressure on myself, because I am an overthinker. Like, I'm naturally a woman. Like, I like to plan things out. So for now, it's more just moving home. I would love to buy a property. Like, I'd really like to get in that market, set myself up. But naturally just let things happen as they are. Like, for the next 5 years, I would like to settle down and, I probably will eventually go back to a full-time role, not necessarily in that job, but I'd love to do what I'm doing now and make that something more full-time and see where that takes me. But I'm telling you right now, I'm going to look back in 10 years and be like, you were so funny on that podcast, you little naive 23-year-old.
So
That's how it always happens, eh?
Yeah.
But I'm still single 10 years later.
I'm back on Bailey Talks reunion.
Just
I'm
documenting.
single. Oh my God.
Documenting that is going to be so cool to look back in 5 years' time and be like, oh, I wasn't that far off. Or, wow, like things just change.
Well, this is why we do it. This is what you always say to me. It's like,
Yeah.
it's cool to look back on, whether it's good, bad, whatever. Like, it's still something. So
I know, like, if my 19-year-old self met myself now, she'd be cheering. She'd
Yeah,
be like, oh my
yeah,
God,
yeah,
we did
yeah.
that. We have the collection.
yeah.
Wow. Things like that. But I feel like everything, like you said, last 6 to 12 months probably be like the best point in my life right now.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
grateful as, and I just hope that it continues to get up.
True.
stick
No
to
doubt
that.
there'll be some challenges though. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of lows.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of friends around me who
Heaps.
are very successful, and I've seen them go through some really big lows off the back of big highs. Not
Yeah.
saying you're going to, obviously, but my point
Just
is
brace me
like,
for it. Yeah.
just like you're fucked. Okay, the sun is coming. All right, a storm. No, I'm joking.
Just prepare.
Make sure your boat is ready to handle a storm. That.
Yeah.
But like my point is just like life is obviously filled with highs and lows,
Yeah.
and for some reason I do feel like you've just got to try and stay neutral as you can.
Yeah.
Stay in the middle and don't let it sort of tick you too far up and down.
Yeah.
Not too high, not too low. It's like
Yeah.
very.
And you do that very well.
Well, it's easier said than done. I
True,
feel like
true.
I feel like when things are going good, you're just like, how good is my life? And then when
Yeah,
things
yeah,
are going,
yeah. It's
when
like,
things are going down the
fuck.
toilet, you're like,
Mate,
this isn't
No,
it.
what is going on?
Yeah. So no, it is.
That
That's
is
really
true.
good advice, Bailey.
Oh, Dr. Phil over here. That might wrap up the episode because, I'm just finishing on a high, right? So this has been episode 27, I believe it is, for Bailey Talks. LJ, thanks for coming on. Obviously, it's been
welcome.
pretty cool insight. And I know you're friends with Simi, and things are going great for you. And really interesting to hear a little bit into your world at the moment and what's to come for you. So well done to you. And Blakey, of course, thanks for jumping on, mate, and just being my second-hand man.
Mate, all good.
Easy.
It was awesome to hear your story.
Yeah, thank
Really
you. I'm
good.
very grateful. This is a very good little
Good fun.
switch up.
Yeah, cool.
See me on my story next week talking about stuff.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I'm excited for that. It's one of the goals this year. That and CBum. So we'll see CBum later too. This has been episode 27, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Have fun.